What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of What Are We Missing? It's your boy Wes and Josh. We got a dope guest, someone I've known for a while, but now I call you the breeder of basketball players because that's what you do. We got Mertzie Klein in the house. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
Oh yeah. Thanks for gracing us with your presence. It's dope to have you on here. So glad we're able to do it. So Mertzie is a trainer with I'm Possible, training kids all over Grand Rapids. And so we're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into her playing days, and what went into that and stuff like that. So but we want to start with your background. We want to get to know you as a person. So let's just jump right into it. So how did you really get into hooping back in the day?
I probably started when I was in like second grade, just like everybody else, like a little YMCA league.
Okay.
I mean, I grew up with three older brothers and they all played basketball. So just like watching them and playing in the driveway with them. But I first started at like YMCA, and then my first AAU was when I was in fourth grade. I played for Lakeside Hoops.
Okay. Okay. We'll get into that in a second. But so obviously I know your brother, Kyle. We played together in like fourth, fifth grade, something like
Yep.
that. So shout out to Kyle. Has one of the sweetest jumpers still I've seen to this day. But yeah, so I guess talk about, growing up with three brothers. How was it kind of being the only girl growing up?
Yeah, so me and Kyle fought a lot. I mean, we're the closest in age. My
Yeah.
other two brothers were super nice to me. But me and Kyle fought all the time. But it was probably because we were both really probably the most competitive. And he's the one that kind of taught me how to play basketball. So we always played one on one, and it would get heated, and
Yeah.
so it was tough, but I mean, they made me tough. But my other two
Yeah.
brothers were super sweet to me.
Okay. Yeah, you gotta have that balance, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's good. That's the difference. Like me and Nikki,
Yeah.
my little sister, yeah, we weren't very sweet to each other growing up. But my older brother and sister gave her that sweetness that she needed. So
That's
Yeah.
funny. That's
yeah,
funny.
you gotta have it.
Yeah, I ain't
You gotta
experienced
have
none of
it.
that.
Yeah,
I need someone to go to help families out.
right,
So,
right.
When would you say like you fell in love with the game?
um, probably when I first started playing AAU, so I was in like fourth grade when I first like kind of started learning how to like play basketball and like the competitive side of it. Playing against more like competition, like school ball wasn't, well, was always pretty easy. But like, being able to travel and like play against high level competition, that's when I was like, oh, I really like it. It's a lot of fun. So
Mhm.
probably like in fourth grade, I decided that I really like this and kind of want to take it further.
Yeah, yeah. I remember at that age, yeah, school basketball was just like, all right, get me to AAU season.
Yeah.
It just wasn't, yeah, it wasn't really challenging at all. Really
Yeah.
until you get to the varsity level at least. But
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
yeah. That Josh, I don't think you played AAU, did you?
Nah, I didn't play.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
So yeah, the AAU, man, I miss it. I do. I really do. But it was a grind though. It was a grind. What was it like for you, Mertz?
Traveling a lot. So yeah, you could say it was like a grind gone every weekend, but I mean, it was fun going to hotels, different states. And um, I
Yeah.
liked it. I would rather play AAU than anything else.
Yeah. Yeah. So for me, eighth grade was the first time that I realized that I'm not going to the NBA anymore. I got that rude awakening. We're playing in, it was like a Nike tournament in Cincinnati. So we walk in the gym, right? And we see I think it was Indiana Elite playing.
Mhm.
They had these huge guys just dunking, blocking shots off the glass. And we're just watching like, oh man, we like cracking up, like clowning. And then my old teammate, shout out Mitch Briggs, his dad came over and was like, hey, how old do you think these kids are? So we're like, oh man, we're like, they gotta be like sophomores in high school, at least maybe freshmen. He's like, no, they're your age. We're like, what? Like, and they're in your pool. So we're just like, oh sure. Yeah. So at that time, I was like a bigger kid, I feel like, locally, but not nationally, obviously. I'm like 5'8", 5'9", playing like the 3 and 4. Right. And then now I'm playing against kids that are like 6'3" already. I'm just like, this, yeah.
It's crazy.
The league's not happening anymore.
Yeah, it's different once you start going to different states like Chicago, New York, and you're like, oh.
Yeah. So did you ever have that moment, like something that stood out to you, or?
Yeah, probably like when I was a freshman and I stopped growing after like 5th grade. Okay. And like in 5th grade, I was like 5'2". I was like, oh, maybe I'll be tall.
Yeah.
Nope, that was it. Like never did sense. So probably like around that freshman year, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be just 5'2". Like this is gonna be rough. Yeah. Oh, you know, I don't know.
Yeah.
So probably after that point, like at least got to be 5'6", 5'7".
Right.
So,
man,
that's funny. But everybody got that moment, you know. Just dang, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, talk about, you said, you know, your 4th grade AAU experience. You know, talk about your the Western Lakers and your Gator playing days.
Yeah, so I played for Lakeside Hoops. I never actually played for the Western Lakers, but I always played against Western Lakers. So I played against Nikki, and I played against Destiny. Pretty sure we always beat them, but I mean, maybe I'm wrong. But then I started playing for the Grand Rapids Gators. And we kind of like just formed, they were kind of already like a formed team. And then like me, Nikki, Alex Heffron, like we joined later on. And then it kind of became like a super team, like what NBA would be now, like where all those girls play, or like a Michigan crossover. Like we could have easily played like an EYBL. Like we were really, really good. Yeah. And so, but we were all kind of formed. And so it was just like really us three that were the ones that just kind of joined. Otherwise they were all like Grand Rapids Christian kids. Yeah. So growing up, Grand Rapids Christian was really, really good.
Yeah, they were nice.
Yep. And then it was me, Nikki, and Alex, and Caitlin Tyson. We were the only 4 that didn't go to Grand Rapids Christian that was on that team. But I played with them then up until junior year of high school. And so we all stuck together from like 7th grade all the way up.
Yeah. That's super dope. What AAU like gives the opportunity for kids to play with kids from other schools, and then grow up with them. So I kind of did the same thing with John Ostema and Mitch Briggs, like playing with them 6th grade all the way through high school. And it just kind of, you form that bond and friendship for a long time. So that's dope. So my sister, I talked to her yesterday, and she had just a quick story about how she first played against you. So you were saying, like you're 5'2", and she was just like, "Who is this little girl? Like we're about to kill her." So apparently, like the first time you touched the ball, you like hit like an NBA range tray, just like deep, and gained her respect like right out the gate. So she just totally like said you didn't pass the eye test, which is super disrespectful. So next time you see her, slap her. But yeah, so was that like the strongest part of your game? Was it shooting? What do you feel like you were best at?
I mean, I wasn't very tall, so if I didn't have to get into the paint, I didn't want to. Yeah. But my favorite player was always JJ Redick. And so I always wanted to be known as like a 3-point shooter. So I mean, there's times like fast breaks, Probably could have just taken it in. I'd be jacking up threes. So yeah, it was something I always wanted to, be known for.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was a stronger part of my game for sure. But then as I got older, like I started, I was really known for floaters. So
the float game strong.
Yeah.
Ended up being pretty strong over there.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel you. I was short too towards the end of my career, obviously, being like the shortest dude on the team at GV. So I had to have my float game on point as well. So I think me and you had similar games for sure.
Yeah. Yep. There's just some things, shorter people they all need.
Right. And here's Josh. Yeah. So Josh was a little different. Josh played above the rim a little bit. So
okay.
I couldn't shoot like y'all. That wasn't a strong suit. Would you say you was a natural shooter, or was that something that you had to like get in the gym and work on?
I had a pretty good like feel for it, but my brother was a pretty good shooter, and he taught me how to shoot. So it was definitely something like I grew into. But I think I had a pretty good feel for it. Even at like a younger age, I wasn't just like shooting like from the hip and trying to jack stuff.
Man.
So I had a pretty decent form, even like for being as short as I was. So
that's okay.
Yeah, word.
That's a pet peeve seeing them kids.
Yeah, they always.
I know. Yeah, can't stand
it. Yeah, me neither. And I'm still mad at your brother for beating me in a 3-point contest in high school. It was at Hope Camp. Yeah, he got me.
I must have a clip.
He's got a clip, bro. So it's a respectable L. So I wanted to get that though. That was like my one and only 3-point contest too. So
really,
that's still in my mind for sure. Yeah. So yeah, let's talk about your West Catholic days. So I looked you up, 3-time all-conference performer and a McDonald's All-American nominee. So that means you had work. So talk to us about like the individual work that you kind of put in when you got to that level. Like, were you big on like training, doing individual stuff back then like you are now?
No, so like it wasn't like I tried to remember, like it wasn't a thing really. Like how it is now, like everyone has like a trainer now.
Right.
I didn't have a trainer. Like my boss now, like I went to a lot of his camps and he did stuff with me, but like nobody had like a personal trainer.
Right.
Went to, you just watched videos and you try to mimic stuff.
Yep.
Where you simply just got on the gun, but like it wasn't like how it is now. And so pretty much I got up a lot of shots and I played ones with the boys. Like that's kind of how like the workouts were. It wasn't like anything where you're breaking down skills like, how it is now. But that's pretty much what I did is I always, just played one-on-one and I would get up shots on the gun. And so that's probably what it was like all through high school. In the morning playing, shooting on the gun, and then after practice playing one-on-one with some of my friends, because the boys always practice at the same time. So then we'd play ones after for a good 30-40 minutes.
Yeah, it was the same for me, and I'm sure Josh too. Like, so Jalen Rose always says it perfectly. He always says, back then we worked out, kids today train. Like totally different. But in the morning I would get shots up too, and make sure my handles were tight. But I didn't have the gun. We had something called the shoot away. And you had that, bro.
Yep.
But what?
So like it had the net like the gun does.
Yep.
But the ball like goes into the net and just rolls back to you.
Takes a little
it's
longer.
like yeah. If you had like a full rack of balls, it worked pretty well. But ours was super old, so like sometimes the ball would like pop off and like it was frustrating. But when I saw the gun for the first time, I was in awe. I didn't use a gun until we got to GB, honestly.
Really?
Wow, dang.
Yeah. So
that's crazy. The shooter, I never even heard of that one. They retired that thing.
Right. And Mertzie, one thing that stood out to me was after you worked out, you played ones. So 1-on-1 for those that don't know what she meant, but yeah, 1-on-1. So like, how important is that in like developing your skill set in your game?
I mean, I think it is, especially like when girls are going against guys. I mean, guys are just always naturally bigger, stronger, faster. So the more like you can create off of, playing against boys, I mean, playing against a girl, really, I mean, it's easy.
Yeah.
And so being able to work on footwork and creating for your shot and finding different ways to finish, I found it really beneficial.
Right.
Yeah. Playing, I feel like that's kind of something that's like lost a little bit nowadays. Even when I see kids playing like 1-on-1, it's like they joking around.
Yeah, it's not as serious as what it used to be. One person that does it, Abby does it a lot. She'll play against the boys like after practice. So like I think some people have shied away from it, but now that there's so much training, like I don't think they like think about it as much. Where that was just kind of a go-to, like, oh, you want to play ones? It's not like that really anymore.
Yeah.
You can clearly see Abby plays with boys. Like just by the way that she plays. Love watching her play, by the way. But you gotta I think it's best to play ones right after you work out, because you kind of have all the moves that you worked on in your mind. It's fresher in your mind. And it's not just that, it's that the instincts too of the game. So so important to me.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your recruiting process a little bit. So what was it like for you back in high school when you were being recruited, and who was recruiting you?
Yeah, so like with like how things are now, I don't know if it's like what it was for you guys, but it's completely different. Like you don't have all that social media. Like when someone gets an offer, everybody knows that person got an offer. Like rarely anyone knew if you had an offer. So for me, I was getting recruited pretty early, even as like 8th grade, 9th grader. We traveled a lot with the graders, and we always made it to nationals. And so, being on the big stage, you got seen more. And but honestly, after I got hurt my sophomore year, I lost all my offers and interests. I had a pretty bad knee injury, and I was out for like 18 months.
Wow.
And so anything that was like about to become something, I lost right away.
Yeah.
After my freshman year, I got hurt in November of my sophomore year, and I was out until midway of my junior year. So I missed those huge parts. And then like coming back my junior year of that summer, I mean, I was hobbling around. I wasn't as quick as I usually was. I was wearing a huge brace. And so I still had a few offers, but I ended up going to Urbana. And then I actually ended up getting hurt my freshman year there too. I tore my meniscus and my MCL. And then I ended up transferring at the first semester, and then I ended up going to University of Findlay.
Man, a lot to unpack there, but you just said whenever I hear the University of Findlay, I flinch a little bit because they used to kill us, man.
They was good. The guys team, they were top.
Oh, Philly was there. They were nice.
When I say they had like a psychological hold over our minds, like I can't explain it any other way. Like they, especially at their house. You've seen it. You played there. Like
it's tough to play there.
It's tough. It's basically like a high school gym.
Yeah.
it reminds me, like, their fans, at least, not their gym, but their fans remind me of Rockford. Just like passionate, and that's all they care about is
all
that
they care about.
Teams. Like, I don't know, like, it's like they don't care about Ohio State or any other, the Cavalier. Like, it's just Findlay basketball. Just Findlay. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was nice being an athlete in that small area because everyone were
right,
and everyone they were like the best fans in the land.
Yeah,
they traveled well, but they always packed. They always packed it really well.
Yeah, and I think because the town is in a town called Findlay, right? And I think they have a high school called Findlay, so I think it's just like part of the town. You know what I mean? So, whenever we went there, it was like, let's just try to win. I don't know,
there was few games where it felt like we was really in like enemy territory. Just it was like we walked in there, it was just like the whole town was there, and like they really did not like us, and like it was like, dang,
insane. And then so my wife, her dad and his family, they live down in Columbus, so we drive through that Findlay exit every time we drive through it. Like, I just have those memories in my mind, like, man. But we did, though. We beat them in the tournament, though. My sophomore year, your junior year, Josh, and then our last time playing, and we beat them at home. So yeah. But before that, so my freshman year, they beat us four times, Mertz. 4. Like, how do you beat a team 4 times in 1 year? Findlay can. Like, yeah. So they beat us 2 times in the regular season, once in the conference, and then once in the tournament. So they hosted the tournament. They ended up winning the national championship. But so Findlay.
Yeah, Coach Ernst he was a really good coach. He's still there too.
He's still there? Wow.
Yeah, he's still there.
He reminded me
big things.
Yeah. I feel like, man, Findlay reminds me so much of Rockford in so many ways. Like, their fans, the orange and black, their coaches, like him and Coach Marley, are just like super cool, just sitting back, like Phil Jackson, just so so as you can see, we respect Findlay a lot. A lot. So I forgot what we were even talking about. Findlay just got me shook.
Versus her recruiting, her injuries and everything.
Oh yeah, your injuries. So talk to us about the one in high school in particular. What went into like that process of like coming back? How was that on you, pretty much?
Yeah, so no, that was tough. So I didn't even tear like a ligament. I had what you call, it's called osteochondritis dehiscence. So pretty much, so everything in my knee died. Like, I lost all the blood flow to my knee, and so everything decayed and broke off. So all I was doing, I was just bringing up the ball, and nobody was even like pressuring me, guarding me. I took my last dribble, and it felt like somebody like took a hammer and just like smacked my knee. Everything just shattered.
What?
And so everything just like broke off. So I was out for about like 18 months trying to recover from that. And I still have like 6-7 screws in my knee holding everything in place. And so I was so slow after that. I wasn't quick anymore. And so that was tough. The rehab was really, really hard.
Yeah. I'm speechless right now.
Yeah, I never even heard of that.
It was more of a rare injury. It wasn't something that, was a very, very common thing.
Yeah. Oh, dang. Man, all right. I got to regroup. That's crazy. Man. But it's amazing how you still ended up, playing college ball. So you had just a tough career. So I know your career kind of ended, kind of out of your control. So can you kind of talk about that?
Yeah. So then I ended up at Urbana, and then it was like one of the first practices, like that October 15th when you have that first official day of practice.
We know
I tore my
all too
meniscus,
well.
my MCL. Yep. Yep. So I tore my meniscus and my MCL. And then went home at the break. It was really far away, so I just wanted to kind of go home and get that taken care of, and then kind of transfer to a school closer to home.
Yeah.
And I mean, you guys know Finley's in the GLIAC.
Yeah.
So I'm playing more of all the Michigan schools so my family can see me. So I played my sophomore year. And then, going into my junior year, it was like right after, I played Grand Valley, actually. It was 2 days after, and I got hit really hard in practice with a concussion, and I ended up blacking out. So I was unconscious. And then ever since then, I would black out and I'd get seizures. So then I stopped just playing altogether, and I came home again at the Christmas break, and then I went into Mary Free Bed and did outpatient, and then finished school online. So I only really played 1 year of college basketball. And then that was pretty much about it.
Man. That's it. That's tough. That's tough. It's I don't even hearing it. I can't imagine going through it. So
yeah. And that's a lesson for a lot of kids. Like, you can't put all your eggs in one basket, which is the sport that you play, whether it's basketball, football, soccer, whatever. Because stuff like that can happen. Unfortunate situations can happen.
And stuff like that happens more often than what you would think. Because we can name dudes that were, at GV with us, and just couldn't play because of physical whatever.
Yeah. It's really unfortunate. So, but those are things that you can't really control.
Right.
You don't really see happening, or when you're young, you don't think that those things will happen to you.
Right. Right.
I've seen a lot of kids get hurt, but I never thought, that won't happen to me. Until then you're there and you go through it. So
exactly. Gosh, that's tough. That's super tough. So how was that? I'm sure it sucked. I'm sure mental health maybe played a part in like basketball just completely getting taken away from you. So how did you kind of deal with that?
Yeah, so even just with like the concussions alone, I wasn't feeling very good. And then, when I was told I couldn't really play anymore, I can't really do anything that involves like contact. So all that did kind of suck. So, being home and then finishing school, it kept me a little busy. But not being able to do anything for a stretch there, and kind of having to learn to redo things like motor skills and stuff wise, that definitely really did, suck for sure.
Yeah. That's a lot.
But in a way, I guess you could say it was a blessing in disguise, because I probably wouldn't have started training unless that happened. So after all of that, once I kind of got released from, the outpatient therapy at Mary Free Bed, my boss moved back to Grand Rapids, and we always stayed in contact throughout the years, because he would train me a few times, like when I was little, and he just asked if I wanted to work for him. So that's kind of how I fell into the training.
Yeah, that's dope. What do you think he saw in you? Because I imagine he doesn't do that a lot.
No, I think I think just because he always remembered me throughout the years. He always said I stood out in camps, and he did one at Sparta and Comstock, and I was like the only girl there with all boys. So I think he just thought if, he can kind of teach me, bring me under his wing, that, maybe I could help do more of the girl side, because at the time there was no girl trainers. So being from Grand Rapids, I think he thought maybe with it being my hometown that I could kind of start the girl side.
Right.
That's cool.
That's dope.
Yeah. So, when you said he kind of took you under his wing and stuff. So, what are some of the things that he was kind of like instilling in you as a trainer?
Yeah. So I mean, he really helped me pretty much like basketball again. For a while there, I didn't really like it anymore. And so, he kind of helped me remember, why, I always loved basketball, and he trained me when I was younger too. So that, that always helped. You're just really good at, helping motivate me. And, he offered me a job and, gave me stuff to do. And at the time, I didn't really have anything to do. So, keeping me busy and in that aspect. And he's a pretty well-known trainer. So I got to be around a lot of really cool things, watching him train pros and just teaching me his whole curriculum. And so he kept me, really, really busy and gave me something to do at the time when, I was at a pretty low point.
Yeah. That's amazing of him for sure. Yeah, big ups to that. So what were some of the players that you kind of got to see live training?
Yeah, so I've got to see, quite a bit. When I first started off, it was Mike Benajay. He was coming out of Syracuse into the draft. And I remember I had to pick him up a couple times at the airport. Mike would call me, "Hey, can you go pick him up?" He needs his pre-draft workout. And like, okay. And I've got to see, Brandon Ingram train live. He's brought Jerry Stackhouse, actually brought him into our gym. So I got to meet Jerry Stackhouse too. I've got to see him train OG Anunoby live as well. And so, there's a lot of different players that will, travel in, some NBA players, a lot of, college players. So it's pretty cool to see all the, like, his resume, all the people that he's trained.
Yeah. That's pretty dope. Yeah.
I've only been able to train with, I got to train with Tamika Catchings.
Okay.
Yeah, that was still to this day. I mean, it was unbelievable. Like, I saw her put 25 shots, hit no rim in a row. I was just like, man, what? And she was coming off of Achilles. I was just like, this is real crazy. So, yeah, it's real cool when you get to have those type of experiences.
Hey, bro, tell the story about how you the first day you respected WNBA players. What did Tamika do?
We were playing ones. It was me, Tamika, and my brother. And like I said, she was just coming off of Achilles, playing King of the Court. She was locking up. she was locking up. Like, we was trying to do everything like we could. She was just like, she's my height and just as long as I am, and she was locking us up. There's nothing else I can say. Like, I was just like, dang, this is crazy. Like, I was at Grand Valley at the time, training and in the best shape of my life, and she was just putting the clamps on us.
Yeah, she's a really cool person too.
Yeah, she is. She
seems like it.
About 2 years ago to our facility when she was in Grand Rapids, and because she does a lot with the Indiana Fever.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
President, and then at the time, Micah was training Victor Oladipo, and he trained the whole Pacers organization. So she came in a few times, and they, got to talking about that stuff a lot because she's obviously in Indianapolis a lot.
Yeah. Shout out T Catch.
Right.
Yeah.
Man. She put the team on her back, bro, and beat Maya Moore.
Yeah.
Bro, that's still like one of the best finals I ever seen. Like men or women.
Yeah. She was out there getting triple doubles and everything.
She was killing, bro. She was killing.
He's kind of like the godfather of it all.
Yeah. So on the women's side, though, who are some of the players that you have always admired?
I love Maya Moore and Skylar Diggins.
Man, Maya Moore.
Those are my two favorite. Like especially when like Skylar Diggins was at Notre Dame, like that sophomore year that she had. I feel like that's when everyone, started realizing who she was.
Yeah.
But then Maya Moore, I think she's just all around, really good player.
She's the best I've ever seen, in my opinion.
Ever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like she just stopped playing in her prime to get a man out of jail and then marry him. Like,
that's a good person too.
Yeah. And she's like,
winner.
Yeah, she's like, I'm good. Like, I don't need to come back and hoop. Like, that's amazing.
I've already done everything.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. I miss her though.
Yeah, she's definitely fun.
Yeah, no doubt. So more on Impossible. So I know the answer to this question, but what makes you guys different than other trainers out there?
I think the biggest thing is, our innovative training. If you really watch Impossible, our training tools we're really known for, like our med ball, our cone, all of our different innovative training. We call them methods. So a lot of times some people will take them out of context. But a lot of times, like when we're using like maybe a medicine ball or, a cone, like we're trying to simulate some sort of like body positioning. So like if a player doesn't have personal accountability, they need that forced accountability. Now, not every player can just get into that proper game like body positioning. So you need those training tools to kind of help simulate those situations. We're also the largest training movement in the world. So there's no other training organization that is as big as us. Like we have the most throughout the entire world. We almost have a skill lab in every state. We're in different countries. So from a movement, we are the biggest, number one in the world right now.
Jeez. So is Micah's over all that, or is he over just the one?
No, he's over all of them. He's the CEO of everyone. So it's kind of special that the headquarters is right here in Grand Rapids.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're global, nationwide.
My gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so there's about over 400 of us right now.
Okay.
Yeah. That's
do you do anything else in terms of just you personally? So like you train, but is there anything else that you do behind the scenes with Impossible? You like pick up players from airports, stuff like that.
Yeah, I used to do that a lot in the beginning. I used to pick up players, we have what we call an Impossible guest house. So when players travel in, they stay at our guest house. So I used to, transport those players and then train those players. So right now, like my clientele is pretty big. I really grew my clientele where, I just handle all the personal training side. But, there's stuff that I do like online, like I'll train other trainers. I started like a mentorship program. So, I help other trainers virtually, like how to get started on the business and the terminology. And take them kind of through our curriculum. We have a curriculum of 750 skills that we think a player needs to be a complete skilled player.
Man, I love it.
To a science.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No doubt. So I see all the time pages like Overtime, Ball's Life, like posting videos from Micah's page, just clowning. Like, what does Micah ever like comment on that stuff? Just like the flack that he gets from his innovative drills and stuff.
No, it doesn't bother him at all. A lot of times, like he's gone live or commented with people, like a lot of times it's just taken out of context.
Yeah.
People watch it, but then they don't, understand his reasoning or even bother to read his caption of why we're doing what we're doing. But now he started doing voiceovers and putting the captions on the videos, and he's never got clowned ever since. Now, like it pretty much just says right there, this is what I'm doing, this is why I'm doing it. And ever since then, he's never had those type of situations anymore. So just a lot of times it just gets taken out of context because people don't want to understand the purpose.
For sure.
And they're just looking at it and be like, oh, that's stupid.
Right. So, yeah. Following him, it seems like him, well, he likes to kind of ruffle feathers a little bit, because people in the comments get so frustrated at him whenever like the traveling rule in the NBA, stuff like that. Bryce too, both of them. Like, I just love following them because they just piss people off all the time. So
they're very smart. It's hard to go up against Micah when it comes to basketball. He's just very intelligent about everything.
Right.
So it's really hard to outsmart him in this industry.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it comes with the territory. Like you said, like you got headquarters you got locations all over the country, biggest training company in the world. You're going to have people that are going to hate on you. You're going to have people that are going to comment on what you do or how you should do it and stuff like that. Most likely it's people that want to be him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, for real.
So yeah, shout out to Micah for sure.
Yeah. So we we were talking about the elite players and stuff that we've seen. Like, when you're training and you're watching the elite players train, like what are the biggest differences that, like, if you had to describe to people, like, all right, this is a normal person training, and then this is NBA, WNBA player training, and this is why they here, and this is why you there.
So it's funny that you would think that if they're in the NBA, WNBA, or one of the best college players, that they're probably good at everything. And it's funny, it's the absolute opposite. And so that's actually why I really love doing what I do is you can find the weaknesses so fast in a player. I have some 8th graders that might look better at a drill than a college player or an NBA player.
Wow.
So our training really humbles a player right away. So you might walk in and think like, someone is going to be really, really good at something, and they're not. And so like our like philosophy, how I train a 10-year-old is this going to be the same way I train an NBA player or WNBA player. I'm just going to look for their weaknesses. As soon as I see that they're good at something, I'm going to move on. And so I always want to find the weaknesses, and so they always know how to grow and get better at their game.
Wow,
that's good. I heard it was an All the Smoke podcast. I think it might have been the one with Kobe.
Okay.
And Kobe, he said something like about how you're like in the same kind of like, basically when you're training, find the weaknesses, and then that's what you train on. A lot, everybody, I mean, obviously, you got to practice things that you're good at too, but like what you really need to be going after is like the weaknesses. And so
that's really how you're going to get better. I mean, a lot of times that's hard for a teenage kid to understand. Especially even NBA players, when they're used to being good at everything, or they might be known as the best player in the world. When they find things that they're struggling on, do they embrace it? Do they shy away from it? So you also get to find out the type of person they are too. And so usually the ones that really choose to embrace it are really the ones that really expand and open up their game the most.
Yeah, for sure. Gosh, that makes so much sense. I wish I was having this conversation when I was like 15 years old, for real. Because when I played, when I worked out, I was obsessed with having a good like practice or a good workout. So that means I mostly just practice on the stuff that I was already good at. So I'm getting shots up or working on my floaters, right? I wasn't working on my right hand a ton. I wasn't working on my footwork a ton. Because I knew if I did that, it would be a frustrating workout. And I would leave the workout feeling like I'm not very good or I didn't get better. So I think that's one thing that really held me back. So my eyes are definitely open to like what you just been saying, the past couple of minutes. And I hope like whoever's listening kind of learns that too. Kind of attack that weakness. And man, that kind of pisses me off a little bit. I ain't gonna lie.
So like that's my goal every time. Like if I have somebody that comes to me, is I in a way kind of want them to leave the workout having them feel like they kind of suck at basketball.
Yeah.
Because that means I did my job.
Right.
And that's why I have a job. If they were good at everything, they wouldn't need to come to somebody like me.
Yeah.
Right.
So that means there's so much room for growth for them to become a better basketball player. It's just the mind frame that player has. Are they going to think it's stupid? Oh, I don't want to do it. I'm not good at it.
Right.
Or are they going to, see it as a challenge and have it motivate them more to figure out, well, how good can I really get now?
Exactly.
And that's the mentality that they have to have.
Yeah, for sure. Josh, do you remember the 20 drill? Not 50, but 20. It was the one where the point guards. Yeah. So basically at Grand Valley, we had to do this drill called 20 drill, where the point guards had to beat a full court, basically double team, a trap, without passing the ball. Like naturally, you're just going to pass the ball over the trap or like split the double team and bounce pass. But we couldn't do that. We had to like turn up the court and beat the double team. And basically like in 20 drill, we did like 50 drill as well. Like in those drills, there's no fouls, no nothing. So like the defenders could like hip check us out of bounds, push us, hold us. So we the point guards absolutely hated the drill because we just had to like defeat pressure and being uncomfortable. That's something I hated as a player. I didn't like facing pressure at all. So our coach implemented that. I feel like it was like every Monday in practice. And I hated it, but it worked. Like it worked. It got me more comfortable with, facing pressure. So I think that's proof right there that, being uncomfortable in your practices and working on things you absolutely suck on is important. So
yeah, it is.
Definitely.
So, speaking of like the skills and stuff and training, what are some of the important skills that you feel like aren't emphasized today with basketball?
For me, I think it's more of like the footwork side. I mean, in my personal opinion, I think that footwork will just change a player's game completely. So like in training, like I'm always doing some sort of footwork. I just think that footwork kind of opens up everything for a player. Do your hands and feet work together? And because you're going to be able to create for others in that sense. So I think that in my opinion, that's one of the most important things that a player always needs is you need a really good footwork foundation.
Yeah. That's something I didn't have. I didn't have footwork.
Nah, yeah. There's a video out there on YouTube. Brian Scalabrine facing his kid one-on-one.
Yeah.
If you like really, so I didn't focus on footwork either when I was hooping, but towards the end of my career, I started like getting into it. But if you're watching that video, he put 10 on that kid's head and it was like all footwork. He wasn't even like trying. Like I was just like, it's crazy. Like how you said, footwork really unlocks a lot. And if I can go back, like footwork would be something that I really want to like practice, because I literally didn't do it. I like zero.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's our culture's problem. Not like in America, at least, it's not really emphasized at all. Like reading Kobe's book, Mama Mentality, obviously we all know he grew up in Italy for a while. That's where he learned like that side of the game, the fundamentals of footwork. He just so happened to be uber athletic, so he was able to add the other stuff to his game. But like he said, he came over to when he lived in Philly and just like was just killing because nobody knew how to guard him. So yeah, that's definitely something I wish I would have emphasized more too, is my footwork. I literally did not know how to do a right-handed layup and like time my feet and jump off my left foot. I did not. I always jumped off my right foot, which is like cool today. Like same foot, same hand. But back then my coach was like, you're supposed to jump off your left foot. I'm just like, I can't do it. Like, I can't do it. But still today, like I don't hoop a lot anymore. But when I do, if I finish with my right, it's off my right foot every single time. Like, so.
Yeah, those are becoming more like, especially in today's game, like that's a more known thing, and you don't hear as many coaches say, well, no, that's wrong. Like, people are really starting to kind of see like the new change in the generation.
Absolutely. Yeah, totally different today. The game is. So.
It is.
Josh, you got anything else about training?
No, just the last one, if a player can't like afford training, what types of things can they do? I was like a kid who, like we had talked about earlier. So I didn't play AAU, but what I did have, I had me and my brother, we both love basketball. And what we would do, we would record NBA games and just like you said, mimic. And so my favorite player was Jason Kidd. So I would try to do everything that I saw him do, but as a professional trainer, what would you say are some of the things that players can do when they can't afford training?
Right. Well, I mean, especially in, today's world, social media is huge. And we're posting stuff all the time. So, I mean, there's a lot of kids that will message me and ask for videos or and stuff, and I'll just send them like a video I've already posted. And so probably following a lot of trainers and, watching different videos that they post. A lot of trainers give a lot of stuff away already on their social media page with different breakdowns of, drills or certain moves. And so that would probably be the biggest one. Or like a lot of trainers offer like virtual stuff for like really cheap, finding different ways to tap in with a trainer that way if they can't afford like a personal training. But social media exposes a lot. Like I mean I have a ton of drills on my page that they can use, and so that would probably be like if they can't afford something, looking on social media for that stuff.
For sure. That's what's up. One thing I love what you guys do is the live like videos when you're doing the training, and then you'll like watch it on the screen, basically like to break down the footwork. I think that's super dope, and you can correct, like they can see it. It's one thing when somebody tells you like what you're doing wrong, but when you actually see it and how
different.
Especially if you look real whack, so
so sometimes they just need to see details instead of me just telling them. And exactly. So it's different when they can see it and be it brought up, just like when players go back and watch game film, it's different when they can see themselves and what they're doing. And I mean, it's the same thing in training.
Yeah, absolutely. So good stuff, man. That was real. I loved it.
Yeah.
So we want to end with a couple fun questions for everybody to get to know you a little bit. We call it quick hitters. The first one is, all right, this is fun. Better shooter. So be honest, you or Kyle?
Me. Me. 100%.
What would Kyle say?
You know this. You see both play.
Yeah.
You know.
I just wanted to see where your head was at. That's all.
He would probably say himself, but me.
Yeah.
I think I'm pretty sure I had a higher shooting percentage.
Okay.
Ooh. Hey, numbers don't lie.
Yeah.
Numbers don't lie.
Numbers don't lie.
Kyle, if you're watching, man, numbers don't lie, bro.
That's funny. Next one. So 3 people that you would like to have dinner with. They can be dead or alive.
Kobe Bryant.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big Jennifer Lawrence fan. Have you ever seen like the Hunger Games?
Just because of my wife.
Yep. I love Jennifer Lawrence. And then Liam Hemsworth.
Oh man,
Liam Hemsworth. What was that?
From Taken? No.
No, from the Hunger Games too.
Oh
man, I'm out.
Who was the Liam from Taken? I don't know.
Neeson.
Neeson, yes.
Yeah, no,
something like that.
Yeah. Wow, you're a big Taken or not Taken fan.
Or fan. Paul Walker.
Oh yeah.
Or Paul Walker.
Shut up, Paul Walker. Yeah. Did you read the books?
Mm-mm.
You didn't read the books, just the movies?
Yeah, I don't like the books.
All right. So this is a fun question too. So including you got to pull up to a pickup game. The game's for like 10K, 10 stacks. Who are you bringing with you? 4 others.
Probably the girls from the Gator team.
Okay.
We were stacked, like me, Nikki, Kia, Katie Vanderwide, Alex Heffron. Like, I don't know if you know this, but anytime me and Nikki played in a Macker, we never lost.
Oh yeah.
We always took first. Like, I don't think I've ever lost a Macker, and she's always been on my team.
Yeah, I see the trophies. I saw the trophies.
Yeah, we never even took second, third. Everything's just first.
And Nikki be cheating though. She a cheater.
She do be cheating, man.
He was great to have on the team. So
yeah. No. Regardless of gender, my little sister is the greatest rebounder I've ever seen in my life.
Facts.
Like she rebounds like Dennis Rodman or Ben. Like it's not off athleticism. It was just like she just knew how to position her body and she knew where the ball was like going. Like
dang.
She always caught everything too.
Yeah, good hands.
Yep. Yeah, she made you look good.
Yeah, for sure. It helped her that me and my brother always giving them forearms and stuff. So
giving them jabs.
Yeah. All right, bro. Last question.
All right, last one. Before you answer this, you got to help get this person on the show. Okay. Who needs to be on the show next?
Theron Halleck.
Theron. All right.
You need to get Theron on.
Okay. For sure.
She wants to be on, so you got to hit her up.
I hit her up a couple weeks ago. I forgot, but yeah, we'll have her on for sure. For sure.
She's definitely someone everyone will want to, hear about. So.
All right. Bet.
Cool.
Shout out to you for holding me accountable, keeping having the girls on my page and not just guys. So.
Yep.
Yeah. So we had Macy the other day. And then we had Abby a couple weeks ago. So yeah, we're gonna keep it consistent. For sure.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
You gotta get my boy Jack on here for sure.
Oh yeah, Jack's on our list as well. So yeah, he's do you know how long he's gonna be out? I heard he was hurt.
Yeah, I think he's coming back this week. You know, he sprained his ankle a little bit.
Yeah.
But he'll be back this week for sure.
That's what's up. Yeah, they got to play the long game, trying to repeat. So
Yep.
yeah, they got two other D1 players that can take care of stuff while he's out. So
yeah, they'll be good.
Yeah. So cool. Well, anything else, Jay?
It was a great interview.
Yeah. Loved
Thanks
it.
for having me.
Yeah.
Loved it. Yeah. Appreciate you, Mertz. Continue to do what you're doing in the community with these girls and guys. Yeah, breeding these players. So yeah, appreciate you. And thanks for being on the show with us. We're on YouTube, y'all. We're on Apple Podcasts, and we're also on Spotify. So check us out wherever you get those. So that's another episode, man. Another one in the books. So another one. And another one. And another one. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Until next time. Peace.
All right, thanks, guys.